Stephen A. Smith Show starts right now.
What up, family? Welcome to this funky, fresh Friday edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. Michael Eaves in for Stephen A. today, hanging out with you from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern, earlier out on the West Coast. You can be a part of the conversation. Hit us up, 1-888-SAY-ESPN. That's 1-888-729-3776. You can also hit me up on Twitter, at Michael Eaves. You know, it's a Friday, and we try to be kind of chill on a Friday. Like, I'm dressed down today because it's Friday. But so much is going on between last night, some games tonight in the NFL, and also what's happening this weekend. This could be a very busy, packed show, so I do want you to be a part of it. Again, say ESPN, 888-SAY-ESPN, 729-3776, or hit me up on Twitter. A couple of things I need to talk about today. DeMarcus Cousins, a gut punch to me yesterday when I heard the news. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later as well. Om Young Masuk is in Vegas. He's going to join the program later to get a little more of a sense of how that played out. I had a very interesting Uber/Lyft incident yesterday, and it got me thinking about some of the funnier ones I've had, and I want to hear from you as well. You can hit me up on Twitter with those or give us a call as well. And also, this Jay-Z NFL thing continues to linger, and I have some questions that I can't get past, and maybe you can help start of the NFL season. So I have a couple questions, and I need your help with those as well. But the first thing we have to talk about is what we saw last night, NFL preseason games from certain quarterbacks, okay? I'm going to start with some of the good. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson may be the most exciting player the NFL has seen since Michael Vick. Now, granted, we've had some other guys come in the league and dazzle us with this and show off on this. Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack defensively. Other guys, you know, the other side of the ball, carrying the ball, great. Todd Gurley, Zeke Elliott. Like, yeah, we've had some very talented guys, right? Lamar Jackson may be the most talented, most exciting player from a unique package standpoint that we've seen since Michael Vick. Did you see what he did last night? Now, granted, the play did not count because it got called back on a flag, but everyone saw what happened. And it was very reminiscent of the play when he was in college at Louisville against Syracuse that eventually catapulted his Heisman campaign and led him to taking home the hardware. He jumped over a dude. First, he juked a dude, then he jumped over a dude and scored a touchdown. Again, it got called back, but nonetheless, the athleticism that he displays on a regular basis is ridiculous. And again, I believe he's the most exciting player we've had in this league since Michael Vick. Here's a problem, though. Y'all won't let Lamar Jackson live. When the conversation about Lamar Jackson is had, so many people want to talk about, well, he's not a good thrower. He runs too much, blah, 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 blah. Just let the man live. He took this team to the playoffs last year. He came in subbing out a guy who won a Super Bowl at the quarterback position with this very team in Joe Flacco that was struggling at the time. Lamar Jackson comes in, and what do? They go to the playoffs, right? But everyone looks at Lamar Jackson like he can't do this, he can't. Why are we focusing so much on what the man can't do or hasn't shown yet at this level? He just started last season. Let the man live and just enjoy what he's bringing to you. I mean, if you're a Ravens fan and he took you to the playoffs last year, you have to feel some level of confidence that that's going to happen again, right? The question you may have from a concern standpoint, and I get this part, he runs too much, so he's going to get hurt. Okay, fair question to have for Coach Harbaugh. Are you running him too much? Now, he set a record last year for most rushes by NFL quarterback, right? And all the talk in Baltimore, like, we're going to chill on that a little bit. It's not going to be as much this year. But when he does run, look how exciting it is. It's production that the offense needs. So why are you tripping? Let the man live. If this is how he plays, this is how he plays. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But if this is effective and defensive coordinators are looking at this Ravens offense like, man, what are we going to do with Lamar Jackson if he starts to run, right? That's a problem. But stop focusing so much on what certain players can't do at certain positions and look at what they can do and what they are doing. If you're an NFL fan, why do you not want Lamar Jackson out there running the ball? Did you see what he did last night? He jumped over a dude. Again, he did in college. I mean, even after the game, of course, they played the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers went up to Lamar Jackson and said, I love watching you play, man. That was pretty spectacular. Aaron Rodgers, MVP Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers enjoys watching Lamar Jackson play. Now, he did say at the end, slide a little bit. And that is good advice, clearly, because even if Lamar Jackson is going to run, he can't be trying to juke out every dude. He can't be trying to run some guys over. If he continues jumping over them, I'm here for that, though. But you do have to protect yourself as a quarterback based on the value that you have to your team. Clearly, Lamar Jackson understands that. But what makes great players great, besides work ethic, talent, ability, all those things, usually it's also instinct. How do you play that position? What are you doing at that moment that distinguishes you as special? Okay? For Lamar Jackson, at times it is running. Now, maybe they won't have as many design run plays for Lamar Jackson. But as he said last night, it was a four-man rush. They gave him a lane, and he took it. Okay? Any good quarterback would do that if there's no one to throw the ball to. But if you get Lamar Jackson in open field, that's a nightmare for opposing defenses. You ask anyone who's ever played defense. Ask Ryan Clark. Ask Teddy Bruschi. The last thing they want to do is chase down a dude like Lamar Jackson. So again, let the man live. If this is how he becomes effective at this position, if this is how he continues to get the Ravens in the playoffs, then that's what's going to happen. I'm not saying, John Harbaugh's got to have 15 design run plays for Lamar Jackson. That's probably not a good idea. But if he takes off when the opportunity presents itself, I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, Harbaugh said he probably won't run as much. Or I take it back. It was Timo Steve Biscotti who said that. He's going to run as much this year, right? John Harbaugh's like, I don't know about that. Brian Billick, former NFL head coach, was on Golick and Wingo earlier this morning here on ESPN Radio, and this was what he said in terms of what you can expect from Lamar Jackson this season.
It's not so much what they're doing or the plays that they're running. It is the total commitment that the Ravens now have in willing to let their quarterback run, maybe on a pace like we have never seen before in the NFL. I'm talking about, in 2017, Cam Newton ran the ball 139 times, and we thought that, that's unheard of. We're talking 180, 190, maybe 200 carries on the year for Lamar Jackson.
200 carries? Now, he had 147 last year, okay? That was the NFL single-season record, which broke Cam Newton's mark that Brian Billick referred to. 147. Now, again, he didn't start the entire season as a starter, right? Remember, he came in place of Joe Flacco, and he got to 147. So because of that, Brian Billick's like, all right, if he did 147 last year, he's probably going to get more because he's going to start from the beginning. I don't know if 200 is a number or not. All I know is this. He will be most effective if the threat of the run is always there, okay? If he is a threat to run, that changes the entire dynamic of the defense. If he is a threat to run, maybe it will improve his passing numbers. But either way, stop focusing on what this man can't do in your eyes or the old NFL establishment's eyes and pay attention to what he can do. And clearly the Ravens understand his value because where they drafted him, and they were the ones who benched Joe Flacco in favor of Lamar Jackson. So they understand the value that he brings as opposed to looking at the things he doesn't, okay? Let the man live. And if living requires him to run, maybe it's 200 times this season, then it's going to happen. But I will say, Aaron Rodgers is absolutely right, Lamar. You got to slide a little bit, just a little bit. Let's go to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Number 1 overall pick. Speaking of a team seeing value in someone and making moves to put them as the focal point of their team, drafted him number 1 after just taking Josh Rosen the year before out of UCLA. They moved him out to make Kyler Murray the undisputed starter of this team. Now, he had some issues last night. 2 false starts in the first quarter based on his cadence and clapping. Okay, now clearly that is a point of emphasis for the NFL because you don't really see those plays called that often. I mean, we've seen a few through the years, handful here or there. Drew Brees has gotten flagged for it. Aaron Rodgers gotten flagged for it. But also, he's a rookie. So you have certain referees who have not seen Kyler Murray play before, and he's adjusting to a new level of competition, a new offense, all these things. So these are things that work out. They work out themselves in the preseason, all right? So I'm not going to get too caught up in the thing with the hands and clapping. I'm not, because that's a minor adjustment, okay? That's just about awareness and everyone getting familiar with what's happening. And even Kyler Murray said, and I agree with him here, it's the defensive responsibility to watch the ball, not watch me, all right? So, again, he don't think it's a big deal. Cliff Kingsbury probably doesn't think it's a big deal. But what is a big deal is how Kyler Murray is coming along in this offense. Again, you have to give this team a break because everything is new, right? New coach, new system, new quarterback, all right? So you have this mutual respect and affinity between Cliff Kingsbury, and Kyler Murray. So clearly they are all in on what's happening, but it is new for everyone involved. So Kingsbury could have an offense, look at Kyler Murray from a distance back when he was in college and think about how it's going to play out. But once you get him in the huddle, get him on the sidelines of the practice field, blah, 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 trying to implement this stuff, it's going to take time, okay? The issue, though, is how much time will you give, not Kyler Murray, but Cliff Kingsbury's new offense? If you are a Cardinals fan, clearly one season, fine, da-da-da. But if it doesn't pan out after next year, are you like, this is over, this is bad, this is a bad move? If you're going to be invested, as the team clearly is, in Kingsbury, based on what they did to get him, and Kyler Murray, what they did to draft him number 1 overall and then move out Josh Rosen, you have to give them time, right? Yes. But are you concerned about what you've seen so far? He was, 3 for 8 last night, his second preseason game, just 12 yards. He did have a short run, I think, like 4 or 5 yards or something. Have you seen enough of him to have a better idea of what you're going to get from him long term if you are a Cardinals fan? Now, Rex Ryan was on Get Up earlier this morning, and he had some pretty good criticism of this Cardinals offense. And in Rex's mind, you see what you see right now, you're going to see that all season long.
Kingsbury says, wait till week 1. Oh, I can't wait to see week 1.
Why? What will week 1 look like that'll be different from last night?
Nothing. They're going to get whipped week 1.
That's the problem.
Look, this guy, everybody talks about this great offense and all that. Yeah, if it's fantasy football and you want points and hey, yardage, that's great. How about wins? All right, Kingsbury, let's face it, had the best player in our league. He was 13-16 with Pat Mahomes at quarterback.
In college.
How about you worry about wins?
Worry about wins. That's what matters for quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks are judged in the immediacy by their wins, not their yards, not their touchdowns. That just adds to the resume for greatest of all time conversations or Hall of Fame conversations. In the immediacy, right now, it's about wins. But the expectation that the Cardinals are going to come out the box racking up a bunch of W's, to me, is absurd. Like, what would make you think that? New team, new coach, new quarterback. It's not about wins and losses right now for this team. That's going to take time. But it is about the development of this offense to say this is a viable option in the NFL. Can it work? So if you are a Cardinals fan, where is this expectation you have that this thing is going to work with Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, based on what you've seen the first 2 preseason games? Again, preseason games, it's new, but still, every little glimpse you have tells you something. What are you being told as a Cardinals fan of this team right now? 888-CSPN, 888-729-3776. You can hit me up on Twitter at Michael Eaves. Sam Darnold for the Jets. Look, when he came out of high school, he was supposed to be legit, okay? And in the short spell that he was at USC, he showed everyone in the NFL everything they needed to see to say that this guy will be good at this level, okay? And what he's shown you so far in the preseason, if you're a Jets fan, you have to be as hyped as you have been in quite some time about that position. He has the build. He has the arm. He has the eyes. He has the awareness. He has the understanding of the offense. He has everything that you would want right now in an NFL quarterback. If he could be a little more nimble in terms of running and getting out of the way, sure. But he's not a bad athlete by any means, right? You don't expect him to be Lamar Jackson out there. You don't want him to be Dan Marino. And he's not close to Dan Marino in terms of inability to move around. He can move around. He can avoid hits. He can find spots in the pocket to step up and make passes. He has that. But if you're the Jets fan base and you see this quarterback and what you have, are you looking at the rest of your team as like, yeah, this is it. This is what we got. We're good to go. Is that what you're looking for? Or are you saying like, man, if we only had blank, we could be so much better? Because you have the quarterback right now. And if you're a Jets fan, I can't remember the last time you could be this excited about your quarterback. Maybe when Mark Sanchez first came in, you had a little bit of success. You were like, oh, okay, this is going to work. Sure, yeah. But now, with Sam Darnold, in terms of what he did, I mean, just look at the first series, right? Boom, 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 you're good. Like, whoa, that just happened because Sam Darnold is that good. But if you're looking at the entire season, do you feel as if you have everything on that roster that can put the Jets in a position to go to the playoffs? I mean, for the second straight week, Sam Darnold opens the game with a touchdown drive. Right out the bump, boom, we're gone. You got to be hyped if you're a Jets fan. But do you also have this doubt in your mind that you have everything you need in order to get to the playoffs again? You have the quarterback. Do you have everything else? Oh, man, we got Le'Veon Bell. Boom. Solid. Now you got a running game behind you. What about receivers? What about your defense? What about your special teams? Are you feeling that good about it? Or because your quarterback looks so good right now, Jets fan, you are talking yourself into some bad expectations? I don't know. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a Jets fan. I don't know what it's like to be a fan who's gone through, well, let me rephrase that. I was about to say I don't know what it's like to be a fan who's gone through a long period of dismay and disarray the way the Jets have recently. Let me amend that because I'm from Kentucky and I went to University of Kentucky, and our football team up until last year, we didn't really have that kind of good run. But what Stoops did last year, yes, I'm all about it. 10 wins, boom, boom, boom. Is that how Jets fans feel right now? That they're going to be in the playoffs. They may even challenge for the division crown. Are you a Jets fan feeling that right now because of your quarterback, Sam Darnold? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Hit me on Twitter at Michael Eaves. One other question about quarterbacks. Eagles fans, tell me you're not worried. Tell me you're not worried about the safety of Carson Wentz. Cody Kessler goes down last night with a concussion in the first quarter. You lost another quarterback to a broken wrist. Carson Wentz is not going to play in the preseason because the last two seasons he's not been able to finish the regular season because of injuries, right? You look at your offensive line right now. How worried are you, not just about the season as a whole, but the future of your franchise because of the money that was invested in Carson Wentz? And if he gets hurt again, how concerned are you? Carson Wentz is the future of this entire organization. So much money was spent on the extension for Carson Wentz, it will affect every other transaction this team makes for the next, 3-4 years at least, right? If he is not healthy and you are not getting the return on that investment, what does it do for the entire team? You have to be concerned if you're a Jets fan. If you're an Eagles fan with the offensive line right now. How can you be successful if Carson Wentz is running for his life back there? Or, God forbid, if he gets hurt again. Philadelphia, what is that level of concern? Because you saw what happened to Cody Kessler last night. Oh, yeah, but, Carson Wentz is better. He can move around. Can he? Last two seasons, he got hurt. Couldn't finish the regular season. Didn't play in the Super Bowl. That is what you're facing right now if you're an Eagles fan. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? But if you can't protect them, what difference does it make? So, Eagles fans, what is your level of concern? Hit me on Twitter, at Michael Eaves. You can join the conversation as well, 888-SAY-ESPN, Stephen A. Smith Show brought to you by Pennzoil Synthetics, taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Coming up, we're going to talk about Boogie Cousins and the gut punch that his injury had to me personally, but also as a Laker fan. How are you feeling on that? That's coming up here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Hey, friends, let's talk about Noah. Last year, he had a fast food delivery job. The hours were garbage, the pay was worse, so he went to My Computer Career. In less than 6 months, Noah started his IT career. Now he's in line for his second promotion. Is your job garbage? Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science.